Welcome everyone. This is Zahn with Repro Products. Today's webinar is on Autodesk collaboration for Revit. Our presentation today is from 3:30 to 4:30. I will be recording this event in case anybody misses it or they come in late, and they can just send an email request to me, and then I can send the link to them as soon as it's available. If you are already in our session, you should be able to see two screens. One is the Autodesk PowerPoint presentation, and the other is a notepad file. The notepad file says some basic things that we need to make sure are in play. For example, you should be able to see the presentation PowerPoint deck and the notepad window. That you can also hear my voice. I'm using a noise-canceling headset. And if you do have a headset, you can go ahead and use that as well to ask any questions. The only thing I ask is that you mute your microphone if you are not speaking. That way I don't have any kind of sound kickback. And then if you don't have a headset, you can use the chat window to ask any questions. And I will periodically look at the chat window and try to ask any questions and answer as many questions as I can during this webinar. I will try to give a couple more minutes left for anybody who needs to jump on. And then when we hit close to 3:35, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Our presentation will be a PowerPoint presentation, a short video within the PowerPoint presentation, and then jumping directly into the software and looking at the features from both the administrator level and also from the end user level. So we will go ahead and get started in about a minute or so. And please go ahead and double check all of your settings before we start. So again, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. My name is Zahn with Repro Products, and this is our Autodesk Collaboration for Revit webinar. This presentation is to run from 3:30 to 4:30, and we want to make sure everybody is okay with their tech before we get started. So you should be able to see my screen. I've got the Autodesk PowerPoint presentation up, and I have a notepad up as well. Make sure you can hear my voice. I'm using a noise-canceling headset. If you do have a headset, make sure that it's functioning properly so I can answer any questions that you may have. And if you don't have a headset, you can use the chat window. I am actually recording this event as we speak, and that way later down the road, if anybody needs to get a link to the video with sound, then they can just send me an email request, and my email is down here. And then I'll email the link to you as quickly as I can. I think it normally takes about 15-20 minutes after it's finished processing. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Let me close some of my windows, and we'll go ahead and get going here. So what is Autodesk Collaboration for Revit? Our agenda today is going to cover just a few basics of Repro Products and who we are as a company. We'll then get into the A360 Collaboration for Revit, so we understand what it is, why we use it, how does it work, the system requirements, and the pros and cons. Afterwards, we'll get into the demonstration portion of it, where we will look at it from both the administrator level and from the end user level. So let's go ahead and how that sounds, see if everybody's okay. If you can hear me now and you were having issues before, let me know via the chat window or the Q&A window to see if you can hear again. Okay. I am running kind of a slower connection right now, and it is doing multiple things such as downloading and opening the model. So let's let that run, and we will push this request and go head over to the hub again. And I'll hit F5 and see if I can refresh the window to see if the version 5 is finished uploading. And it is, see? Now it says V5. So if I click this, again, it will open up the model. It'll show me in the viewer, and then I can see the updated changes.
How are we doing? Good.
So let's just give it a second. And as you can see, the model and the view has to be processed. And there you go. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that corner where we made the adjustment. And I have not, that process of saving back to central for this particular slab or where the railing sits on top hasn't been finished yet. Because if we take a look back in the Revit software, it's having issues. So we'll go ahead and let it run its thing. It's getting close, see that? And I'm trying to open it at the same time. So let's see if there are any other questions, and make sure I double check everything before I finish up. So let's get Revit up while we're doing this, and we'll double check the chat window, and we'll double check the Q&A window again. Okay? And then we'll double check the list as well. Okay, close this and head over to chat window, and we'll head over to my participants list. Okay. All right. And so make sure I cover everything on both the HTML hub access site versus the Revit site. We did cover all of these features here and here. We covered the data, calendar, discussions, and how to create folders and subfolders, and how to upload data. So let's say, for example, I go under conceptual design stage, and I want to create a folder. I just click new, and I click new folder, and I'll say stage 1 design. And I'll hit create. And that folder is created. And if I want to upload content to it, I can do it two ways. I can either just go to that subfolder and click upload and pick a file or pick a folder. So I'll pick a file, and I'll go and I'll pick pictures, and I'll head over to Autodesk Pictures, and I'll pick something like this. And then I'll click open, and that file gets pushed out. Another way you can do that is just open up Windows Explorer and drag and drop the files. So if I have Windows Explorer open up, and I'll just make it a little bit smaller, I'll head over to Pictures now, and I'll head over to Autodesk Pictures, and I can grab the ones that I want and drag and drop, and let go, and it automatically pushes up. Some people like to do it this way, which is a lot faster than going click here, click the open dialog box. So as soon as everything is finished uploading, then you can start working with it. We did cover the detail panel, activity panel, clicking the invitations, looking at the users, and we did within Revit, looking at the particular file. We looked at the software, how to open up the file, how to set up the work sets and how to access the different work sets. And we also looked at the Communicator panel. So let's let that finish loading. We'll get the Communicator panel open. So we'll head over to the Collaborate tab. You can see right away that the Communicator panel is going to open up. And guess what? since it's been a while since I logged into my Autodesk software as my personal account with this software, I can click this icon here, and it tells me I've got 9 notifications. So I can click, and you'll see all the different things we've been pushing and requesting from one person to another. So that's with the Communicator, you can obviously see that you're using this to help communicate intent and understanding of the project. And then, again, I'm going to save the file, save back to Central. You'll notice that the file is created and it's going here to that C4R demo. I'll hit OK. And that window pops up as you have seen before. And then it'll get pushed up. And now that it's done, I go ahead and close the file. Okay. Are there any other questions regarding collaboration for Revit and how it functions? I'll just wait a few minutes to see if anybody has anything else. And if not, we are pretty good on time. We actually finished about 5 minutes earlier than I thought, which is okay. But we'll wait to see if anybody has any questions. So here you can see the file was uploaded, and I can click that file, and it will take a second to process. And you can see the file gets pushed up, and you can see that data right away. Depending on, as well, the file that you're looking at, you can actually share that information. You can just click the share button right here, and you can share it. If you are working with a particular file where you want to do collaborative sharing, if I go back to schematic design and go back to the Revit file, I can actually click the share, and there is a live review share. What this does, it creates a virtual room where that file is shown. You can invite as many people as you want to that live review, and then you can do whatever you need to do, and then they can see what you're doing. And only one person can be in control at one time. And that's how the live review works, and then you obviously have some markup capability as well. Okay? And then that's it. That's our collaboration for Revit webinar. Again, if you do need to look at the recording later down the road, you can always send an email to me here, and then I can send it to you most likely either at the end of the day today or Monday, or as soon as the link says it's available. And what I'll do is I will stay online till at least 4:35 or so to see if anybody else has any questions they want to ask, you know, privately or whatever. Okay? But other than that, thank you very much for watching the A360 collaboration for Revit webinar. And this is Untitled with Repro Products.